Understand English but can't speak it.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to The English Edge, the podcast that helps you learn English in a fun and easy way. I'm Emily.
And I'm Brian. Today we have an exciting topic. Understand English but can't speak it.
Oh, a lot of people feel this way. They can understand English when they read or listen, but when they try to speak, nothing comes out.
Exactly. If this happens to you, don't worry. You're not alone. And today, we will help you. We'll share some practical tips to help you overcome this problem and become a more confident English speaker.
So, Brian, have you ever struggled with speaking a new language?
Oh, absolutely. When I started learning Spanish, I could understand a lot. But when I tried to speak, I felt stuck. I was afraid of making mistakes.
Yes, that's a big problem. Many learners feel frustrated because they know the words, but they can't make a conversation.
Right? And sometimes pronunciation is difficult too. If you don't say a word correctly, people may not understand you.
Yes, and that can hurt your confidence. But here's the good news. You can overcome this problem, and we have some simple tips to help you.
The first and most important tip is speak every day. Even if it's just for 5 minutes, start speaking now.
Many learners think, I will speak when my English is perfect. But that's a big mistake. If you wait for the perfect moment, you will never start.
Exactly. You don't need to speak perfectly. Just practice speaking, even if you are alone. You can describe your day, say what you are doing, or talk about your plans for tomorrow.
And if you have a language partner, that's even better. Talking with a native speaker or a friend who speaks English can help you build confidence and improve your pronunciation.
Yes. The key is to speak actively, not just listen passively. The more you use English, the faster you will improve.
Now here's something that stops many learners from speaking: translating in their heads.
Oh, yes. Many learners think in their native language, translate into English, and then try to speak. But this takes too much time.
Instead, you should try to think directly in English. This will make speaking much faster and more natural.
A great way to do this is by learning full phrases and sentence patterns, not just single words.
For example, instead of learning go, to, and school separately, learn the full sentence. I go to school every day.
Yes. When you learn full sentences, you don't have to construct sentences from zero. You just use the pattern you already know.
Another great way to improve pronunciation and sound more fluent is the shadowing technique.
Oh, that's a fantastic tip. Shadowing means listening to a native speaker and repeating what they say at the same time, like a shadow.
Yes, you can do this with movies, podcasts, or YouTube videos. Just choose a short sentence, listen carefully, and repeat immediately.
This helps with accent, pronunciation, and fluency. And the best part? You don't need a teacher. You can practice anytime, anywhere.
And the more you do it, the more natural your English will sound.
Now let's talk about something really important. Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
That's right. Many learners feel frustrated and scared of making mistakes. But guess what? Even native speakers make mistakes.
The most important thing is communication, not perfection. Even if your grammar is not perfect, people will still understand you.
Yes, and making mistakes actually helps you memorize the correct way faster. When you say something wrong and correct yourself, Your brain remembers it better.
So don't let the fear of making mistakes stop you from speaking. Just keep going.
And finally, to speak fluently, you need a strong vocabulary. But here's the secret. You must use new words, not just study them.
That's right. Many learners have a limited vocabulary because they only study words passively. They read them, but they don't use them.
A great way to use words actively is to write sentences and say them out loud.
For example, if you learn the word encourage, don't just remember the meaning. Say a full sentence like, "My teacher encourages me to speak English every day."
That way, when you need the word in a real conversation, you can recall it easily.
Before we continue, let's look at some important words for today's topic.
Fluent, meaning speaking easily and smoothly. Example, I want to be fluent in English one day.
Stuck, meaning unable to move or escape from a place or situation. Example, I was stuck in traffic for an hour.
Native speaker, meaning a person who speaks a language from birth. Example, talking to a native speaker is great practice.
Accent, meaning the way a person speaks. Example, I love the British accent.
Struggle, meaning to have difficulty with something. Example, many learners struggle with speaking English.
Frustrated, meaning feeling upset when something is hard. Example, I feel frustrated when I forget words.
Memorize, meaning to learn something so you don't forget it. Example, memorize common phrases to speak faster.
Passive, meaning not taking action. Example, listening is passive, but speaking is active.
Active, meaning doing something, not just watching or listening. Example, you need to be active in learning English.
Limited, meaning not enough. Example, if you only learn words, your speaking will be limited.
Overcome, meaning to win against a problem. Example, you can overcome your fear of speaking.
Recall, meaning to remember something. Example, it's hard to recall words when speaking.
Construct, meaning to build, like making a sentence. Example, try to construct simple sentences first.
Pattern, meaning a way something happens again and again. Example, learn sentence patterns to speak faster.
Encourage, meaning to give support and motivation. Example, we encourage you to speak English every day.
Separately, meaning not together, alone, or in different parts. Example, the twins live separately in different cities.
Describe, meaning to explain or talk about something in detail. Example, can you describe what happened at the meeting?
Partner, meaning someone you work or do something with. Example, she is my language partner for practicing English.
Directly, meaning without anything in between, in a straight way. Example, he looked directly into my eyes.
Immediately, meaning right away without waiting. Example, call me immediately if you need help.
Wow, that was a lot of useful words. Now let's quickly review our key tips for speaking English better.
If you want to speak English fluently, follow these 5 tips.
1. Speak every day, even for 5 minutes.
2. Stop translating in your head. Think in English.
3. Use the shadowing technique. Listen and repeat.
4. Focus on communication, not perfection. Mistakes help you learn.
5. Use new words actively. Don't just memorize, speak.
And finally, build confidence. The more you practice, the better you'll feel.
Yes. And we encourage you to start speaking today. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. If you follow these tips, your English will improve faster than you think.
And remember, the most important thing is to enjoy the process. Learning English should be fun.
That's all for today. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to follow our podcast and subscribe to our YouTube channel, The English Edge.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.